Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Paul Pogba potentially out until November. What are the ramifications for that for Manchester United? Apologies, I'm not making any apologies about how windy it is in the UK. It is very windy today, but obviously bears no relevance to some of the tragedy that we've seen around the Caribbean and in America. So not just apologising that the noise might be a bit bad. But Pogba out till November. Some people say no, that surely won't be the case. Look, he's pulled his hamstring. He was taken off very quickly, but hamstring injuries are always 6 weeks. We're virtually in the middle of September. That takes us to pretty much the end of October, which means, well, he's going to miss the next 3 league games. He's going to miss a few Champions League games. He's going to miss the Anfield game after the international break, which is just it's galling. It's so frustrating. In relation to who and how we combat that, let's not dance it or dress it up in any specific way. Pogba's a massive loss to United. He was our captain last night. He's our most expensive signing. He's arguably our best player. As Andre 57890 says, who will replace him? Thanks everybody who's joining me this morning. I know it's a weird time, but I did promise you this. Football Red Devils is with us. Google's with us. And is it too early to say, says Dr. Prabha? Not really when he's holding his hamstring like that. I mean, we can hope for a sort of miracle when it comes to the injuries, but look, the one positive is Ander Herrera's got no family bereavement, he's got no injury, he's got no falling out with Mourinho. Mourinho said he's not part of the squad. I played with 2 midfielders last night. I only needed 2 on the bench. My 2 on the bench were Carrick and Fellaini. Herrera didn't play, he wasn't part of the squad. Players need to accept I've got a big squad, and sometimes they'll play and sometimes they then won't be in the next squad. So Herrera's available. My initial thoughts are what we need to do for this next game. I mean, Everton's massive now. Pogba is a big loss. He's a really big loss. I'd say Pogba's bigger, or as big as if Lukaku was out for 2 months. I mean, imagine Lukaku out for 2 months. Yes, you've got Rashford, you've potentially got Martial, but Herrera is rusty, says Prajwell. Well, he is, but I don't think, as much as Fellaini played well last night, I've read your comments on the match reaction. A lot of you felt that he was man of the match. You disagreed with my opinion about Nemanja Matic. That's fine, it's all about football, it's all about opinion, isn't it? But there's a difference between playing well at home against Basel, Swiss champions, and there's a difference between playing Fellaini and Matic as a midfield 2 against Liverpool at Anfield, or even Everton at Old Trafford. This is a different sort of game. I mean, Sek Sniper said that's the title gone already. I think you've got to compartmentalise the title anyway. This is why we've got a big squad. What we need to do is what we should have been, what we have been doing really, is just approach every game as an individual game, an individual battle, and do what's required to do it. Sean Salvatore, if only we had Fabinho now. We've got very little creativity in the midfield now, says David. Yeah, Fellaini played well last night. I thought Matic played very well, even though some people disagree with me on that. But I don't think in the Premier League we can play Fellaini and Matic as a midfield 2. Pogba is an athlete, an absolute beast of an athlete, and him with Matic works. I don't think there's many midfield 2s that can work at any level. Most midfields have a 3 these days, and it's certainly freed up a lot of attacking talent for United just playing those 2 as a 2, and we've lost that now. But that's reality. We don't want to hide behind excuses. We're not Liverpool, we're not Arsenal. We go with what we've got, and I think what we do need to do, and I'll give it some thought because we're going to do the Everton preview tonight at 10 o'clock actually, but I think what we do need to do is go with a midfield 3 from now on, give protection to our back 4, and really focus on winning that midfield battle. Because as I said, I think Matic is good. I thought Fellaini played well, but there's tougher challenges ahead, and I don't think Fellaini and Matic as a midfield 2 is good enough in the Premier League. I think it will get overrun, so I think we're going to have to go with a midfield 3. It would be suicide to go with Carrick, Fellaini and Matic. Too slow, I feel. So I would go Herrera, Matic and Fellaini. I think that's how we're going to have to go. We could go a little bit more attacking, I agree. We could just go Herrera, Matic and maybe Mata or Mkhitaryan, but I think Everton at the weekend's a must-win game, and if we have to grind it out, look, we might not be able to beat teams 3 or 4-0 for the next few weeks while we haven't got Pogba, but if we beat them 1-0, I'm very happy with that. So I'd be looking at Fellaini, Herrera and Matic. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, very disappointing to lose Pogba like that, but was always inevitable going to happen, and it's a shame it's happened so soon. For those joining us a bit late, it looks like he's probably out until, well, 6 weeks, I think. 6 weeks, so November. I was hoping last night that maybe he'd be back for the Liverpool game at Anfield, but then again, do you want to chuck him in for his first game against Liverpool? I don't want to see McTominay. I don't really care what anybody says about McTominay until he proves me wrong. I think he's a championship player. I think the only reason he gets called up by Mourinho is because he's tall. We know Mourinho has an obsession with tall players, and I think that's why McTominay gets picked. He's not even one of the best midfielders in the youth setup. So if McTominay's your answer, get ready to battle for 8th, because we're not going to go for the title with him in the team. It's got to be Herrera, Matic and Fellaini. He doesn't seem to like Carrick that much. Mark, what midfield partnership would you like to see? Says Alex Brian. Well, I've just told you there, and I don't think it's a partnership. I think it has to be a midfield 3. The unique thing we had with Pogba and Matic was that because Pogba's such an athlete, you could get away with 2 players in the midfield instead of 3, which was massively advantageous to us. What I think the second point I'd make is, if we do go with the midfield 3, then how do you set up that front 3? Because if we have a midfield 3, we won't have the luxury of a number 10. So who do you play as your front 3? Which is a shame because of Mkhitaryan, but I'm not overawed by Mata anymore on that right midfield position. I love Mata. I think he's a great squad player. You're always going to play Rashford or Martial on the left. So for me, I'd be looking on that right side of midfield. It's either going to have to be Rashford or Martial, and play them both as wingers with Lukaku up front, because that front 3 is going to have to take on a lot of the attacking responsibility. I'll just throw it out there. Ashley Young right midfield. We saw last night just the importance of what we've been going on about for so long, that if you put crosses into the box with the side that we've got and the aerial ability that we've got, then it can make such a difference. And you know, I do like Mata and I do like Mkhitaryan, but the ability to put a cross into the box is so important, and we saw that last night with Ashley Young. It was fantastic, and even Daley Blind to a certain extent, but we haven't really got anybody who can put a cross into the box, and Ashley Young was just fantastic at it last night. I just want to finish off very quickly. Lots of people have been asking me about FIFA 18 player ratings. They're always a bit subjective, but our best rated player is David De Gea with a 90. Then you've got Zlatan, then I think it's Pogba, and then there's Mkhitaryan and a couple of others. But ultimately Manchester United didn't have a good season last year, did we? We finished 6th, and we also we won the Europa League. I think we've had quite generous player ratings, really, considering how well we did last year. And I think FIFA have always also taken into account that Manchester United, they've sort of taken a leap of faith that Manchester United are going to have a good season. I think as Manchester United fans, if you'd asked us 2 weeks ago before the international break, we would have agreed with FIFA. But after the results against Stoke at the weekend and the Pogba injury, we're in this uncertain area now. I mean, if we draw against Everton, we're sort of dropping down to challenging for top 4 again and not the title after 2 draws. The Everton game is massive. I'm going to do the preview for the Everton game tonight, where we'll go into a little bit more depth, but there are many reasons why Everton is a massive game for us on Sunday, and it's not a foregone conclusion at all. Everton are in a false position. Rooney's going to come back very motivated. We've got no Pogba, and the ramifications of that are quite big. So the plan for tonight is we normally do 8 o'clock on the United Stand, but tonight, if you're not subscribed to That's Football, I'm doing a watch along this afternoon, this evening, on That's Football for Dortmund versus Spurs. If you want to join us for that at 7:45, we're doing a watch along Spurs versus Dortmund, because I want to watch that game, so I thought, yeah, let's do a watch along for that. And then I'm going to do the preview for Everton Manchester United at 10 o'clock tonight on the United Stand. So you've got a couple of bits of videos there. We won't be live at 8 o'clock as per usual, because I am going to do That's Football. And the pub behind me is the Malt House. In fact, I think it was Bill Clinton or Obama went and had a Guinness there when they visited Birmingham. So yes, it'll be at 8 o'clock on That's Football with a Dortmund versus Spurs preview, watch along, and then Manchester United versus Everton at 10 o'clock, Manchester United stand, the United Stand preview. So normally live at 8 o'clock, it's just a one-off tonight. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm really looking forward to watching that Spurs game tonight, Alex O'Donnell. Just think as a neutral, it's the perfect sort of watch along to do for That's Football. Sit back and enjoy it with us. But if not, 10 o'clock tonight, Leave us your comments below about the Pogba injury and how you would set up the midfield. What are your thoughts on Ashley Young coming in as a right midfielder? I think last night taught us one thing. It's not about who the best players are, it's about the balance of the squad. We need somebody who can put a cross into the box. Ashley Young is the best player to do that from the right. It's a fact. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon. Have a very good day.
Oh yes.